What's up? I'm FroBot. I'm gonna give you a little rundown of one of my Ableton sets here. This is my more synthesis building one. I basically have 3 sets here. I got my DJ set, and I got an improv set, which is for like improv jamming and making tracks and stuff. And then I have my basic digital synthesis set, which I just use to really make tons of noises and then record lots of samples to reuse in my tracks and stuff. I kind of like to sample things and really get like a base of good samples whenever I was getting deep into the synthesizers and the different tools, and then I go back and I reuse those into my tracks a lot of the time. So let's take a look here. So this is my set. If you look in here, you can see, like I said, this is for making music, making really fucked up sounds. So basically we have 6 MIDI tracks. These are all matched out to the VCM 600. And then basically in each track, I kind of got this cool monome thing working yesterday. So I got a monome. This is connected to the trigger finger. I got some kits, tons of kits. So this is other kits for my Launchpad. Yeah, for my Launchpad. And then I got a drum kit, which goes down to my drums here. I'll explain that in a minute. And I have an extra MIDI track for whatever I want to put in. Also got my synth tracks. So those are on 7 and 8. These are for synthesizers and doing synthesis with, VSTs and whatnot. And then these 2 are also mapped out to the VCM. These are for recording those, so I have loops set up so I can actually make individual samples or mass samples of all of them going together via these 2 outlets right here. Over here I got my elements section, which these are just basically kicks and stuff and snares straight up that I can use while improvising. So if I need to hear a beat or something in the background. I use this in when I make tracks, but I left it in for this one. And then these are loops for the synth over here, and here's some cues and other shit. So let's take a look at the VCM. I have basically I got this, 6 tracks laid out. The first one's the monome. So up here connected to the Launchpad, if you go to user 2, I should have my monome here. It's kind of a fun. I just got that working yesterday from some free programs. That's so fucking cool, dude. And then of course that's mapped out to my VCM here, and each of the 6 are all the same. And I usually I have like EQs and different DJ stuff here, but right now I got like every one of them's got a reverb because I think that's kind of a tool thing, and then I got a couple delays that I like here. And these are loops, so I can actually record the MIDI loops with record quantization, so they're perfect, So these I got 3 on each track to loop with. These are empty now because I was just fixing this setup yesterday. I always need a low pass and a high pass. That's what Camel Fat VST, great VST. I got a low pass and a high pass, and my send, some extra volume, a beat masher, my track views, and turning the track on and off. So basically, I'm using a beat smasher, cut it up. I can add some nice reverb to it. Take it all in delays, filter it, whatever I want. Basically, these are just tools that you need to find the right sounds. The delays are a little bit of an effect, but the other ones are basically to get the sample sounding the way I want it to sound. If I want other effects or anything, I'll do that individually. I usually have a UC33E here, which is just empty, so I can just, map anything to it and use it just for that time being. It's usually empty here, but I let my friend borrow that. So yeah, I got all those. That's for the monome. And then so the 2nd track and 3rd track, 4th track are all for my kits. Now, if you look down in my Ableton set here, I have, under my kits, I have so many kits I've made, like, just for stabs. This is each 64 different sets of stabs that I could load in to my Launchpad here. Those are just stabs. I have instruments, ones that I've made, explosions for track making, chords, like nice tech house chords. I've made a lot of these samples and then I make nice kits out of them. Or, sometimes I use a nice downloaded sample if I really like it and then change it up a little bit. So over on the Launchpad here, if we go into user 1 mode, then I have of course, all my kits. I think I have a Commodore 64 on here right now, one I put together. And of course that's connected to track 2, so I can fuck it up. Anything I want to do, really, and then I can loop it, of course. So I have more of those on 3, 4, and then I can put more of those in there and just use user 1 mode and arm the track, and it's automatically going to be right there for looping or whatever I want to do. So go to number 5. This is my drum kit. It's connected to over here. Now I need to make some better record functions for it, but anyway, got a kit over here. And of course you can just change the preset. I have it kind of set so there's like 8 kits even in one rack, so I just changed preset 2 and I got all new things. I switched to preset 3. I got all different things. I've made a bunch of drum racks. Now it's just remapping everything, so I usually have a bunch of nice effects over here, like even an arpeggiator on a drum rack can be really cool for making crunchy, real sounds. I usually put a pitch somewhere here and some reverb, some filters, blah blah blah, things I need. It's kind of nice because I made the mapping on the same depending on which bank you switch. So like if I in bank 1 and I still want those exact same effects, they're all the same. These are all the same mapping, but then each of these are individually mapped out, which is kind of nice. And usually I have the little nano control to record loop functions for each of these. So like if I want to loop this, I have a MIDI loop and an audio loop, and then I can control the volume of that loop, and I can make like a nice layer 8 times over on the drums using tons of different kits, tons of different loops,